Welcome to the doghouse. Hope you're all having a great day. This is going to be about respecting others and respecting what they're out there to do. And I'm not getting on anybody's case here. This is just about how we should show respect to others and what they're about. Nobody is perfect, and all of us screw up. There's no doubt that's part of our lives is screwing up. So, but we have to have respect for other people. We have really do. We don't show enough respect at times. It said respect is earned, but respect has to start with you right off the bat. You are the one that starts respect. You may see somebody out there that don't show respect, but you still want respect. You have to start with yourself, not the other person. This is kind of not all of what I'm on here for, but I was on last night and an argument started in uh, somebody's chat and they tried to get it to stop and they kept going on. This is wrong. This is really wrong when you do this. That person's channel has the right to say, stop doing it. And when they do, you should listen to it. And those that was arguing, I have 100% nothing against any of them. It's just when you own the channel, you should expect people to respect what is out there. In other words, if you're told stop, don't keep carrying on. It's their channel. They want it run it the way they want to run it. And you should have the respect for them not to go forward. Yes, there's plants out here and everything else in everybody's channels or a good part of them, and you're not going to get rid of them, but you still have to show that respect for whoever's channel you're on. If if somebody's making an obscene gesture to somebody, you don't have to respond. In other words, you don't have to start an argument. You just leave it alone and ignore it. Last night, that didn't happen. And it was a shame that it took place. And like I said, I'm not mad at anybody that was arguing. It's just the fact we got to learn who the channel belongs to and and this stuff went on and started to affect people that it shouldn't have affected because it was partially about them. If you don't like somebody, you don't need to get on there and do something about it. Just let it go. If it's your channel or if you're talking to them off the channel on your email or whatever, that is your business. Because I understand in this case where I listen to this that there's a problem going on that has been going on for a couple of years. But we all have to learn how to get along whether we want to or not. And all you're doing in this case, the people out there, all that it caused was heartache unnecessarily because you were pulling on people's heartstrings that should not have been pulled on. You got people upset that should not have been upset. I'm not saying you're wrong by any means. In one instance, I see why he lost it on this other person. And it was justified that he had that opinion out there, but he stopped after he said it. And the person that said it, like I said, I don't have nothing against that person because he's helped others. And that's a good thing. When you can help others, it is really, really good. That doesn't mean you're going to agree with them, By far, you're not. But you don't have to start an argument on somebody else's channel. You can disagree with that person or any person on there. Just don't start arguments. And when you're told to stop, stop. As if it was your channel, you have the same right to do that. Now, I have to watch myself because sometimes I hear something I disagree with, but I have to stop and think about whose channel and what good is it going to do to start a fight within the people on that channel. It makes no sense because another guy out there is just laughing his ass off because of it. And like I said, I'm not against anybody on there, and I believe everyone that spoke up had the right to their opinion, but it is not their channel. So all you were doing is playing into the opposition's hands, and you don't even realize it. And yes, all of us do that at some point or another in our lives. But all that happened last night was you was playing into other people's hands. You were doing the dirty work of the people you don't like. You were actually making them look better when it shouldn't have been. You have to have respect for others. And believe me, just because you get on somebody's channel or your about excuse me, when you get on somebody else's channel and they don't want to hear it, you need to stop. You don't need to keep going on. Yes, I have my opinions, and if it's on somebody else's channel, I keep my mouth shut unless I'm joking around or whatever. That's a little different. But when we have respect for other people's channels, we are better off. We have to have that respect. We have to show that respect because respect is respect and you have to earn it. You have to give it. You definitely have to give respect to others. And we're getting away from that. Just because you dislike somebody on one person's channel, don't make it harder on others by arguing on that channel. Show the respect on that channel. Show the respect for others. Believe me, like I said, not only on one channel, several channels I have seen things I 100% disagree about, but I don't get on there and argue with it. I let it go by because it's not my channel. And I'm not going to start a fight on somebody's channel. This is something bad we are doing. And like I said, you're giving the opposition fuel when you do that. You're not helping anything. You may be getting something off your chest you want to get off your chest, which is fine, but what's the alternative? What's really going on? You're helping them. That's what you do not want to do. I felt sorry last night on one program for a lady people have been trying to help, and she had to go through this, and it just wasn't right. I bet her feelings was hurt really bad because of this. Whether you like that person or not, she should not have been put in that position of two good people arguing with each other. Should not have happened. And like I said, one guy got on the other one. I could see that off the bat, but then it was let go because no, it's not, Ray. It's just bad. And I mean, we're all human, and we want to open our mouths at times when we shouldn't. So it's better off to, like me. I've seen scenes on here I don't like, but I stop. I will not do that on somebody else's channel. I do joke around, obviously, but that's a little different. You can't be fighting if you're after a certain end result. People that are standing together can't fight against one another. That is called divide and conquer. And a lot of people like to do that. It's wrong. It really is. And we got to find a way around doing that. And that means you can express your opinion, but then you just leave it alone. You can say, well, I disagree or whatever. I agree, Ray. I really do. I agree with that. But what should have happened when one said that, in my opinion anyway, is blow it off, not even answer it, and move on. I've even did that on my lives. I've done that. Somebody be ignorant or whatever, I blowed it off and went on. I mean, it's hard. No, there's no doubt about it. It is really, really hard to do. And it, I mean, it really is. I'm probably one of the nicest people, according to others, not myself, that think I'm very docile. Don't get mad. Don't get upset. Don't ask my brothers and sisters that because I really am that way. But I take it to the extreme when I lose it. I don't get violent, but I lose it big time because I hold it in. But on these channels, I don't care what channel you're on, it's just not good. Yeah, I mean, Lisa's trying a lot. That that's what happens though when you start arguing. A lot of times, and it's not the person's intent. They start to become the bully, or they go with the bully when it shouldn't happen. And sometimes the person saying it intentionally, not intentionally, it becomes a bully. They may be expressing their opinion, but when others start answering that opinion, then you get the person that is trying to defend themselves. And that's what I mean. Sometimes just leave it alone and walk away. Because all them people that were arguing last night are good people. But they become bad when they do what they were doing. And when you're told by, like, in this case, I've seen it on other channels too, but in this case, Lisa said to be nice and all that. They should have did it. It's her channel. Whether they were agreeing with each other or disagreeing with it. And I'm just not talking about her channel. I look at a lot of channels, and this happens a lot. And I mean, like I said, I had nothing against any of them last night that were on there because one guy has helped a whole lot, and I like the other guys. But at some point, you just have to walk away and not say nothing. I didn't watch it until the end. I got up and went to bed, but you have to understand what it means to go off the edge or something that somebody else says because you could be very well doing the opposition for the other side because for that side because they want you to go off of the edge. And these guys may not even intended to do that, but that's the end result. And that's what it comes out across is somebody laughing at them because they're dividing themselves. And we can't be dividing. I don't care what, if you're behind something and you dislike what somebody's doing, you don't go in there and try to divide. And sometimes these words last night, and like I said, I've seen in other formats, are dividing when you do that. Intentional or not, that's what happens. And we all want to defend each other. If you have a friend and you hear something go wrong, you want to defend that person. You have every right to, but you got to look at what circumstances you're doing it at. Because when you could be very much in the wrong. Yeah, and fights end up splitting others into sides, and it does not even end well, and it don't. How many times have people been around, even friends, and they can never really get back like they were because of a stupid fight? And a lot of this was stupid. They want the same goal, but they weren't willing to fight with each other. And that don't accomplish nothing. All that accomplishes is heartache, 100%. You have to stand united. You know, the art of the war really is more than about a war. It's about humans doing human things and how you can divide. You better believe every time this happens, the other side is just laughing at these other people because they may not even be doing anything, but they're doing it to themselves, and the other side's just sit back laughing. And you just sit there and scratch your head as to really what's going on at times when they do this. All of us have an ego. Let's face it. There is not a person on this earth that don't have a big ego. You have to control it. You have to be a human being. Be one. You know, there's no sense of going out there and being ignorant and falling into traps, and be a good person. Be that good person. And by being that good person, you will see a lot of this. Being a good person and realizing what's going on does not make you stupid. And the other side kind of thinks that, but when you stand together, you are a better off person. When you stand up for what is right, you're a better off person. Sometimes you're not standing up around very many, but you are standing up for the right thing. And Lynette, you could tell what she wrote, she was hurt about what was going on. And every one of them should look at that. Why were you trying to hurt? You weren't trying to, okay, I realize that. You were hurting her over all this. Where if none of that was said, everything would have went forward. And I feel sorry for her. In this case, nobody's perfect, but I feel sorry for her that she had to listen to people that's trying to stand behind her fight each other. It was a sad situation for her. It it was wrong. And like I said, I like every one of them people on there. It has nothing, I don't have one thing against them, but you can't divide yourselves. Stupid dog. When you divide yourself, that's what they want. And you have to realize that. And some of these people don't care. They want to get their opinion out, and they don't care who it hurts. Are you really helping or hindering? And some of the comments were actually hindering what people are trying to do. It was not helping. And like I said earlier, I don't think that was the intent, but that's what occurred. People have good intentions when they're defending their friends. And I have more respect for people that stand up and When somebody's going up against their friends or family, more power to you. But in this case, if you was going to argue with them, it should have been taken off and then did it privately. Sometimes when you do things privately, you accomplish more than coming out and doing it, like on a platform. And just not here, any platform. And nobody, like I said earlier, too, everybody's not going to agree with everybody. That's just part of life. I tell you what, the boringest person in the world would be somebody that agreed with you 100% of the time. Boy, that'd be boring life. I get on that Lisa's and I really like Lisa and Super Dave. I don't get to watch Storage Legend as much, but I do here and there. Usually I'm doing something else when his lives are on, but I go back and look. These guys are really trying to move their lives forward. They're trying to help other people. And that's what should be out front, not trying to divide others. It's sad when we do this. And, and anyone thinking I'm getting on the cases of the people involved, I'm not. I'm just pointing out what I see happens. I've found a lot of good people on here, and I'm going to keep doing it. But here you go again. You got to realize what is going on at the time. Lynette should not have been put in the situation of hurt. I know she was hurt, just the way she was talking on there about good people trying to fight with one another. That's what it should be about, is standing together, not apart. When you stand together, you will accomplish more. You can't not think that you can come out on somebody else's channel and say stuff to start a fight. And like I said, I've even did it on my channel, not all the time, but just ignore them and move on. Yeah, you walk away because that's what a lot of it is. Some of them were, not all of them, but some of them were keyboard warriors. Just walk away, don't say nothing, and let the creator of that channel handle things. The problem is, once he tried to calm it down, there were people on there that refused to listen to her. And it was her channel. And it does. It really does, Ray, take away from the message. All you're going to, and the other side just loves it when you do that. And some realize it, and I realize some don't. If they would just stop and think about what's going on, what their motive is to accomplish, and then you can go forward. But if you're going to fight and do all this other stuff, you're in the wrong. I'm just reading something here. And it does. What they were doing on there last night was taken away from what was trying to be put out. And you can't do that. Okay, Ray. I'm not going to be on very long. I just had to get this off because I do like Lisa. And her channel is a good channel. She just don't need to have this happen, arguments. It was not focused on what she wanted. And that hurts everybody. That hurt Lynette. Thanks, Ray. And it did it. And that bothered me because you could tell it hurt her. People that helped her out arguing with each other. Even some might have been her friends, but it hurt her. it hurt the cause it was trying to pull off. Not pull off, but made it good. But you can't go in there, people, to somebody else's channel and think it's okay when they tell you to stop. You keep going. It's not your channel. And like I said earlier, some of these people, I understand why some of them was upset. I really do. Because some of that stuff should have never been out there, but it was, and you have to walk away. Lisa has some really good people on her channel, and she really does. And I'll tell you what, I'm interested in her channel and others. A lot of times I don't talk a lot, but I'm there. And I see other channels, and it's just not exclusive to her. It's other channels do the exact same thing. The keyboard warriors get on there and think they have to destroy everything, whether they're trying to make themselves look good or they're trying to make somebody look bad. It don't matter. It's the same result. We need to go forward with the good things around us. And yeah, I've seen people, like I said earlier, I've seen people come in and I disagree with, and I think they're just stupid comment, and they meant it, not as a joke, but I'm not going to say anything in somebody else's channel. I may not even say it in mine. We can't divide. And that's the main thing. You can't divide what you want to do. All you're doing is playing into the other person's hand when you do. Maybe some of it's meant to be that way. I don't know. And I'm not accusing anybody of that. But whether it is or not, that is what's happening. So be courteous to other channels. Be courteous out there. It's not that hard to do. You may not like what you hear on there, but don't go in there and somebody else's channel and start a fight. Be be who you are, but you don't need to start fights in people's channels. It's just wrong. And I've had a tendency here and there to start to, and I've backed off because I'm a human being and I make mistakes. But we got to figure out a way not to go in somebody else's channel and be rude and make remarks, especially when they say, let's not be rude to each other. And you go ahead and be rude. That's just not right. And like I said, everybody in there last night, everyone that commented, good or bad, I loved, hey, Road King, I like. But you can't go in somebody else's channel and start stuff. Walk away. It's an easy thing to do. Well, that's a lie. Sometimes it's not easy, but it's the thing you need to do. You don't need to try to divide people when you're after one goal. Achieving that goal means you stick together. You cannot be divided. Whether you like another person or not, you have to stick together. Regardless how frustrated you get, you have to stick together. Yeah, I'm sure you work great around people at work that you didn't really care for because you had to. Well, if you're in somebody's chat that's not yours, maybe you have to go with what they want. And if they tell you to back off, they mean back off. Yeah, sometimes you joke around and that's fine. But in reality, why do you want to start a fight within somebody else's chat? That makes no sense to me. Have respect for that person that has that channel. I might be 66 years old, but I have respect for others. I'm not going to go in her channel and start calling people names. Now, if I have a problem with somebody, if I have their email, I may email them something, or I might say something in my channel, but I will not in theirs, because you got to stick together. You can't let the other side see a crack in the armor, and that is exactly what's happening. Your mindset has to get away from that. Yet you either united or you're not. That means the keyboard warrior mentality, and we all have that to a point, has to stop. You have to be as one, and you really do. You have to stick together as one as far as somebody else's channel goes. They have the right to set up the rules and do it the way they want to do it. Either you say, okay, or you walk away. That's just how it is. People don't need to be drugged down because of egos trying to destroy others in somebody's channel. And that's what it is. Big egos are starting to destroy other people. Why do you want that done? Why did you put Lynette in the spot where she is upset because of the arguments? And some of these are her friends too. So it's not friend versus enemy here. None of them that said anything is my enemy. And I respect every one of them. It's just others have to respect other people's channels. You just have to. We're a good people, and we need to show that good heartedness in all of us. That good hearted, being that good hearted person means maybe not saying something if it's going in somebody else's channel that you know is going to cause an argument. Why do that? Why go to that extent? When it says stop, stop. It's just so heartening to me that people are willing to go on other people's channels to do this. And I'd say 80 to 90% of the time, it's not intentional. I'm not pointing fingers of saying this is intentional. A lot of it is not intentional. It just happens because of our egos. But we have to learn to control that. Everybody gets mad and everybody's going to say something. But when you're in somebody else's channel, you have to have second thoughts on what you're saying. If you hate somebody, email them and tell them what you think. The whole world don't need to know it. You could say something like, well, I disagree with that, and leave it. You don't need to get into arguments. When you're joking around, that's fine. We all do that on there. I joke around quite a bit, make up stuff, you know, and that's one where I had the advantage of as many shorts as I do. There isn't as big a problem with that. There is some. They don't. I mean, close the chat box. And another thing a person can do if they have that site, and don't do it on air or anything else. Go in and say, please don't do this. I know what your feelings are. Please don't do this on my site. And that would help. And there is some that really do enjoy creating division. Some do it on purpose, some do it not intentionally, but it's the same result. I've worked with people that would rather cause division than work and to get the job done. We run into that all the time, but on here more people see it. And yes, there's people that I don't care what you do will cause division. If you say the sky is blue, they'll tell you you're a liar, it's orange. They want that division. Even sometimes that too, with the end results are the same, they need that division still. And they don't care who it hurts. That's the bad part of that. It's unfortunately that does happen. I just can't see doing that myself. And like I said last night, I like every one of them that was arguing as a human being. I just didn't like the outcome that was coming out. But I also seen people on there and other sites, all they want to do is cause division at all times. And that's their big deal is to cause division. I've gone on to several sites that are like that. And sometimes some of these people that are doing the division is because they're looking at the money end of things. And they figure, the division may get them a little money. Guess what? The money isn't worth it. Everybody likes money, but if you got to go in and cause division with somebody that needed help and others trying to help, if you're still in there causing division, thinking you might get a little dollar here or two, you're very much in the wrong. And I realize some of the things that were said last night would really be hard not to argue, but you can't. It's not your deal here or on that site. So don't say anything. And I'll repeat it again. If you have a problem with somebody, email them or talk to them off. You don't need to do it where everybody hears. Because one of them guys has done really, really good things for other people. And they really have. But when he started some of that stuff, just blow it off and go on. You don't need to demonize him or anything else. You could have just, he said it, move on. And what it become was an argument that didn't need to take place. And that was sad that that did happen. Why would you do that? It goes back, yeah, there's some that just want to divide. I got a sister in law. If she can't divide something and cause controversy, she's not very happy. And my brother's completely opposite, but she's not happy unless there's division. Her whole life, and I knew her before she married my brother, her whole life was division. She eat and breathe division. And there's people like that. And you don't see it on here. It's there, but you don't always see it until it's too late. But the main thing I was getting on here for, please, people, let the creators of that channel run that channel. If they think you're going off, stop it. Do what they say because you're good people. Most of you are very, very good people. And I appreciate you guys. I really do. I have grown by knowing these people, not personally, but what they've come out and said. But one thing you not need to do is try to divide. Stand together, be together. Why would you want to divide other than it may be in your DNA, but still listen to the people that own the channel. You don't have to agree with them, but if they tell you, be nice, that means be nice. That means change the subject. That means change the subject, not to ignore them and keep going on. because it is their channel. And nobody wants to turn off the chat, but sometimes you just have to tell people cool down. And if you see something you don't like, just walk away for a while. It's not that hard to do. Some of us with a big mouth, it's a little harder, but still, you have to do it. I'm not a knight in shining armor, but I tell you what, I will respect somebody else's platform. And if I have a problem, I'm not going to say nothing because it's their platform. Just walk away if you have to. Well, that's all I got for today. I just wanted to get in here and blow that off. I appreciate every one of you and thank you. I know I'll get quite a few later on that'll watch this, but I appreciate all of you and thanks for everything you do.